I have a question I'd love to hear you speak about. If everything is perfect, can I ever make the wrong decision? Or there's no such thing. You cannot make the wrong decision. Just look at life carefully. Look at the clouds, look at the sky, look at the nature. How can anything happen independently and something make the wrong decision? If you look at everything else, is anything acting independently? So when the grass grows, does it act independently? Does it grow independently? Or does it need all these other elements? When a tree grows, the same thing. What about a bird? Can a bird fly independently? Can a bird sing independently? Can a bird eat independently? But when you really think about it, you see that all things are connected. All things are moving together. Like one movement creates another movement. The bird eating creates one movement, and the bird going to the toilet, releasing that food, creates food for the grass, which then creates the grass to grow. The water creates the grass to grow, which allows the insects to eat, which then allows the birds to eat. Like, it's endless. You see that everything is touching. There's nothing that happens independently. Ramesh Balsekar, he used to say, if you still feel like there's something you want to do, so if there's a you there that feels like it can do things, a very wise thing to do at the end of the day is to think of one choice you've made and then see if you can trace it back through time to find out when that choice began. So if you choose that today I quit my job, like today, say you made a choice to quit your job, see if you can find the beginning of that choice. Like, when did you start that choice to quit the job? At what point? Was it the point when your boss was rude to you? Was it the point when you realized that other people were being paid better by different companies? Was it the point when you got the job? Was it the point when your parents sent you to education system to get skills for that job? So see if you can ever make a choice that's independent from everything else. And then you might begin to look at life differently and see that everything is dependent on everything else. There's nothing that acts independently. Independence and separation comes from the thinking mind, and it's not the reality of life. It's a closed, narrow thought, and identification with that is what creates suffering. That you are separate from this life. Who is separate from this life? Who? Who is this you? That's the other question that you could tackle your question with, is who is this solid person that you think you are? As you begin to see that everything's connected and that everything's dependent on everything else, you begin to see there's nothing with a boundary. There's nothing that exists with a boundary. The flower is made up of water, the rain, the earth, the poop of other animals. It's made up of the soil, everything around it. It's not a flower that's separate from everything else. That's just how it appears to us that can name it. It's actually a combination of all elements, of all things, just like you. They say we're 94% water, or 84, I forgot. It's high up there. What about when it comes to the I having to make a decision for the future? The reason that it's important for you, and this is a really important subject for non-duality, is more than likely because you're afraid of making a choice and the choice not giving you the outcome that you want and it having a bad outcome. And this is training of the human world, which is bound to lead to suffering because you believe it's your choice that you're choosing and it's your responsibility to create happiness for you in the future. And that's the wrong way to look at choices. What should happen is the instrument, so you are informed about the action, the choice that's got to be made. So say if you're going to book an airline, So you inform yourself of the different airlines, the different possibilities, and then a choice is made from that. And that's nobody's choice. That's a combination of everything happening. A choice is made from that. And the outcome is as it is. The outcome is absolutely irrelevant to think of now. It is as it is. The only time the outcome is relevant is if it's affecting the choice. So if it's about what time you arrive from the flight or something like that, or connecting to another flight. But what you should be focused on is the information, and then what does the body say? Not thinking so much, like what's the body saying? But the mind can loop 1,000 times. If I do this, then it will look like this, and if I do that, it will look like that, and then it will be a disaster, and da-da-da, and da-da-da, but this would be great, no, this would be good, this would be great. And you can go around 1,000 times, and you shouldn't even really focus too much on the outcome. It's more focusing on the information, and then a choice coming, and allowing that choice to come from an expansive place, not a fearful and contracted place. So that one that feels more right to you, rather than spinning on the mind for hours and hours. It should be like this, it should be like that. Yeah, da 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 da. Maybe I am living with my own teacher right now. Yes, okay. This is what I needed to hear. If you begin to look at life correctly, Marie, you will see everything as your teacher. Everything. I mean, when I was living with Roger, I used to fight him, and I would get so angry with him and annoyed with him and think he was arrogant and know-it-all. But then when I just softened to that and just looked at what he was saying and took from what he was saying what helped me, rather than any competition or any sense of wanting to beat him or be right or get revenge or something, all these funny dynamics humans play, then it always expanded me. And you can do that with everything, whether it be a dog you live with, whether it be your parents, children. You can always look at everything to expand you. What can I learn from this? The tax office, the accountants, anything. And this brings real humility. This should be ongoing forever. Everything is a way to make you grow. Everything. Awakening or no awakening, you don't ever arrive. No matter how many awakenings, you don't arrive on the human level. On the human level, there's always this openness to expanding more. That's how everything is. Everything growing and expanding. This universe is. It's the way that we're meant to go. And then at some point, our body will crumble and be destroyed. But on the internal level, on the human level, the aspiration should always be to expand. I have to plug my computer in. Oh. Come on. Okay, it's going to require movement. So if a choice doesn't go the way you want it to go, your view shouldn't, the helpful view is to not look at it like it should go or shouldn't go like that. The helpful view is to look at it not in terms of this is positive or negative, but what does this show me? How can I grow from this? Even if it is that you buy a house that then falls down. I remember that it's a story of Rupert Spira. He bought a house, renovated it all for 9 years, and then it burnt down after the 9 years. And I had to renovate it all again. You don't get attached to outcomes. Yes, don't get attached to outcomes. When you look at life correctly, you see that every outcome is exactly what should be there and is perfectly in play and isn't a negative thing.